Welcome to the video tutorial of database management system. In previous tutorial, we discussed about the overall structure of database management system. In that tutorial, there is a discussion about the overall structure of database management system. In that, I discuss about the storage manager, query processor, and different types of database user. Now, today's tutorial learning outcomes are data model. What is a data model? What is the role of data model that we have to see? Then three types of data model. First type is a network model, hierarchical model, and relational model. So these are the learning outcome of this tutorial. So we start with the data model. Now what is the data model? Okay. So all of you know what is the data, but for handling that data, there are different types of model. But what are the role or of that data model that we have to see? So data model is what? Data model means it is a collection of conceptual tool for describing data, data relationship, data semantics, and consistency constraint. Okay. So that is the role of data model. Means what is the data model? So it is a collection of conceptual tools. So they are used for describing the data, data relationship, data semantic, and consistency constraints. Okay. So that is the role or function of the data model. So this is the definition for data model. Now it provides a way to describe the design of the database at the logical level. So there are three levels of database or three levels of data abstraction that discussed in our earlier tutorial: logical level, physical level, logical level, and view level. So data models are used or they can provide a way to design the database at the logical level. Okay. So at the logical level, database administrator are work. Okay. So database administrator are the person who is responsible for designing the database. So using data model, database administrator describe the design of the database at the logical level. There are three types of data model. First is a network model. Second one is a hierarchical model. And third is a relational model. So we discuss about the first type, that is the network model. So the data in the network model is represented by collection of records of a fixed format. Okay. So as you can see, this is the diagram. Okay. This is the diagram for the network model. These are the records. Okay. This is the ID number one. Here is the name of employee, employee address, employee designation, and this is the another record. This is one record, means there are two different records. This is the first record of the employee ID number one. In this record, it is stored about the personal information like employee name, employee address, and employee designation. In another record, again with the same employee ID number, having the record of employee salary. This is the salary. Okay. And these both records are interconnected with each other by this line. Okay. Similarly, here is the record for another employee, employee ID is 2, employee name, employee address, employee designation, again employee ID with salary. Okay, so this is the network model. Okay, so data in the network model is represented by collection of records of fixed format. So these are the records: employee ID, employee name, employee address, employee designation, employee salary. So these are the records, and these records are represented by fixed format in a network model. Okay, so this is the network model. In this way, data is represented by the database administrator using the network model. Okay. So these lines are called as a relationship. Okay. The records that are interconnected with each other. So this line is called as a relationship because they are interconnecting the records that are present in different formats. So these lines are known as the relationship, and these fixed formats is known as the records. Okay. So this is the network model. Relationship among data is represented by links, which can be viewed as a pointer. Okay. So the relationship that are shown by that line or that are represented by links, it can be seen as a pointer. In the previous slide figure, the boxes are used to represent the records. The boxes are used to represent the record, while the lines are used to represent the links between the record. Okay. While the lines are used to represent the links between the record. So what is the use of boxes? Boxes are used to represent the record, and that lines are used to represent the links between the records. Network models support one to many, or sorry, network models support many to many relationship. The network models support many to many relationship. Okay, so every model support different types of relationship that we have to see, but first model that discuss in this tutorial, that is the network model. So the network model support many to many relationship. Data in the network model is represented in a fixed format. For storing the data, the boxes are used. So the boxes that are used, they are known as the records, and the lines are used to represent the links between the records. Okay, so this is about the network model. Next type of data model is a hierarchical model. So second type of the data model is a hierarchical model. In hierarchical model, data is represented in a tree-like format, or data is represented in the form of parent-child relationship. Okay, so this is the root. After root, again these are the records represented. We are carrying the same record that we have discussed in the previous slides about the network model. So we are carrying the same records. So we are carrying the same record that see in the previous slides. Okay. So this is the root node. Then root node is categorized into the node. Okay. And again, the last node in the structure is called as a leaf node. Okay. So the last record that you see, they are the leaf nodes. Okay. This is the level 1. This is the level 2. Again, as per your requirement, you can extend up to the number of level as per your requirement. So this is the hierarchical model. In hierarchical model, data is represented in the form of parent-child relationship, and for that representation, tree-like structure is used. So in tree-like structure, so this is the root, and these are level 1 are referred as a node, and level 2 referred as a leaf node. Okay, so this is the hierarchical model. In hierarchical model, data storage is in the form of parent-child relationship. The data that is represented in this model is in the form of parent-child relationship. As from the diagram, you decide that the data is organized as a collection of trees. So the data that is organized in the hierarchical model, it is in the form of tree-like structure. Origin of the data tree is called as a root. Okay. As you can see in the diagram, the origin of the data tree is called as a root. The following root is called as a node. In diagram, we show it as a level 1, but you can also refer it as a node, because following the root is called as a node, and the last node in the series is called as a leaf node. Okay, so this is the hierarchical model. Hierarchical model supports one-to-many relationship. Okay, from the diagram you can easily discuss how or which type of relationship is represented by the hierarchical model. So hierarchical model support or follows one-to-many relationship, while network model follows many-to-many relationship. Now we move to the last model of this topic. Last type of data model is a relational model. So relational model is different from first two model. It is the lower level data model. It uses collection of tables to represent both the data and the relationship among those data. Now all of you know what is the table. Table is a fixed format structure which having the number of columns and number of rows, or it is a combination of rows and column. Such a structure is known as a table. So relational model is used for storing the data. Relational model uses concept of table for storing the data among with the help of collections of tables. Okay. Relational model is a collection of tables, each of which has a number of columns with a unique name. Okay. Every data or a huge amount of data is there, then there is a relational model. So relational model is what? It is a collection of tables. Okay. Relational model is a collection of tables in which each of which has a number of columns. Okay. Each table having the number of columns with a unique name, and each column having the unique name. There is a no ambiguity, means no column has the same name. If there are 100 columns or 10 columns, each column having a different name. So uniqueness is maintained in the relational model. So database is organized in a fixed format. So how database is organized in fixed format? Because for storing the data, the collections of tables or number of tables are used for storing the data. That's why the database is organized in fixed format in a relational model. Designer formulate the database schema using the ER model and then translating it into the relational model. Means what? First, the database designer are going to create a ER diagram as per the requirement. Okay. Using ER model, they are going to formulate first ER diagram and then translate that ER diagram into the relational model. So what is the relational model? Relational model is a collection of tables. Means first the pictorial representation is created. After that representation, that diagram is translated into the relational model. Okay. So this is the example of storing the data in the relational model. We are again carry forwarding the same record, employee ID, employee name, employee address, employee department. So these are the column names. This is the table. This is the one table. In this table, there are the four different columns. First column having the name employee ID, second column having the name employee name, third column is the employee address, and last one is the employee department. So here are the number of records are inserted in this table. You can insert number of records as per your requirement. This is the another table having the employee salary information. Okay. Again, in this table there are two columns maintaining the uniqueness, employee ID and employee salary. So this is the relational model. So what we have discussed in this tutorial, first we have discussed about the data model. So data model is what? Data model is a collection of conceptual tools which are describing the data, data relationship, data semantics, and consistency constraint. Okay. Then there are three types of data model. First model is a network model, second is a hierarchical, third one is a relational model. In network model, data is represented in the fixed format that is known as the record, and the lines are used to represent the relationship among those records. Second type of data model is a hierarchical model. In this model, data is represented in the parent-child relationship. Third model is the relational model. In relational model, data is represented in the form of tables. Thank you.